Welcome to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm so excited for season 2 and the great guests you're going to hear from, their struggles, how they overcame their struggles, their triumphs. Through personal and business life, I think they're tied together, and we're going to share great stories about that. This show isn't just about me. It takes a lot of good people working with me. Among them is my partner, H7 Network, and Clay Hicks. Building relationships, building community is the mission of H7 Network. They want to create a network of champions where everybody wins. Find out more at h7network.com. And we hope to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you through our show. Enjoy the show. We'll talk to you on the other side. Welcome, everyone. This is your host, Steve Ramona, with Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. And I have a true brother from another mother because we both network. He's been networking a little longer than me. He's younger than me, but he's been into this for a long time. And this is an important show because if you have any type of business, whether you're network marketing or a multi-million-dollar business, networking is a key for you to grow one way or the other. Frank, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm willing to bet I am not younger than you, but thank you.
You bet. And age is just a number, like a dollar bill is a dollar bill.
Yep, it is.
So why'd you get networking so far back?
Out of necessity, really. I'll give you the backstory. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I came here to go to law school back in the 80s. I graduated from Ohio State, got a law degree and an MBA, started my career in public accounting as a tax consultant. Great job, great pay. You don't have to worry about networking. The work is there. I decided to leave and go into private practice. And a funny thing happened when I went into private practice. And the funny thing was nothing happened. I had no idea how to get clients. So through a couple of conversations, somebody said you should get into a tips club or a leads group. And people who are familiar with like BNI, I had no idea what they were talking about, but there was an organization in town that was similar to BNI. It was based out of Pittsburgh. They invited me to a meeting, and it made total sense to me that I could lift up my whole world just by helping other people become successful. So I really doubled down on that. And at one point had an opportunity in the early 2000s to buy it out. And so I did. I enjoyed practicing law, but this was something where I could really help a lot of people. I could really learn about networking and why it worked and why it didn't work. Learn about referrals and why people got referrals and why they didn't get referrals. And then I could help them. So they're kicking out attorneys, or not kicking out, they're crapping out attorneys at law schools by the thousands every year. Yeah. It's like, it's not something that's unique. This is something unique that I could build a brand around.
Yeah, it's interesting, with lawyers, you got to listen. It's a listening skill, and that's what networking is about, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Talk about AmSpirit. Let's get into it because I'm excited what you're doing with that. Because like I've said, I've been networking for a pretty long time, over 5 or 6 years, and I love what you're doing. You're offering a great opportunity on both sides of it.
Yeah. The networking business I bought years ago, I rebranded as AmSpirit Business Connections. AmSpirit is short for American Spirit. It's a word that I just formulated in law school and had the gumption to go trademark federally, and I did, and I own the trademark. So when I was looking for something that a name I could protect, it's like I already have it. So, but we help entrepreneurs and sales reps and professionals become more successful through their networks. And we create these groups of one person in each category that meet weekly. And we're really focused in on referrals. I'm not so concerned about the size of the group. I'm sure I'll get some people who will want to debate me on this, but I think referrals drive everything. You can get 50 people in a room and they might not pass a referral. And what have you got? You have 50 people who are frustrated. But if you can get a room full of, 12, 13, 14 people, and they're really dialed into each other, that's where you create some longevity. I have members that have been around for 30 years. This is what they do to grow their business. So we're growing through franchising, looking for franchisees, or I'm looking for people who maybe don't want to franchise, but want to start a group in their local area, and we'll help them get it going.
I love the idea of the franchise. I don't think I've told you this, but you're out helping people with the franchise. McDonald's does, Subway, they all do that, but you're helping people grow their business organically with this networking that you own, that you can earn income from, but I'm sure there's incredible stories coming out of this.
Yeah, well, all my the beautiful thing about it, Steve, is it's really kind of a part-time franchise opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So all my franchises do something else. For a couple hours in the morning, a few days a week, they're working with the AmSpirit groups, but the rest of the time they're designing websites, merchant service consultants, financial advisors, realtors. It runs the gamut. But they find that the two really dovetail well. So when they're out helping somebody become better networking, somebody stops and says, "Well, is this what you do?" "Well, I sort of, but I also design websites." "Oh, really? That's something we are talking about upgrading in our business. Could you help us?" "Sure." So and most of our franchisees see that big picture.
Yeah, what a great gift to give your clients, and you're going to make money on it. There's value to it. Hey,
Yep.
You're my new client. You want to meet more people to grow? Here, come to my AmSpirit, and I'm in San Jose, let's say. Come to my
Yep.
franchise. You're really giving them a gift. I know they're paying for it, but it's a gift of growing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, networking, I know the answer to this, but for people out there that are new in business and don't know about networking, what's the biggest mistake that people make in networking?
Well, they come by it honestly. I think the biggest mistake that people do in networking is really kind of focus in on what they're going to get. Someone said to me on my podcast, which Steve was on recently, the reason people don't get everything they want in life is because they're too busy trying to get everything they want in life, and they're not focused on other people. I just thought that was, just a very keen way of putting it. And so what I really try to tell people with respect to networking is figure out how you can help the other person. I mean, you and I, you said it, brothers from another mother, we're talking, who do you want to meet? You should meet this person. They'd love to have you on their podcast, vice versa. And those are, at no point has either one of us tried to sell the other one.
Yeah.
It's like, we're just kind of getting in tune with how we can help each other. So if the biggest mistake, people just trying to go too fast, looking at, I'm a hammer and everybody's a nail, I'm a salesperson, everybody can buy from me. It's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, it takes people to grow a business. Clients are people. You meet more people. We say in my business info, your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
You have 2 in your network. How far are you going to grow? You have 2,000. I mean, we all could do. I don't have to do the numbers for the audience or you get that. And that's kind of what you're doing with all your, I think you have 20 franchises now. Is that what you're up to?
Yep. Yeah.
You just spreading the wealth, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's a mindset. It's a mindset, and people who really buy into it, and it's not an AmSpirit thing. I'm not, I love my organization, but I know a lot of people who aren't in organizations who are great, and they just do it the right way. They care about other people. It's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, that's the servant, doing business with the servant's heart, and it's so vital in networking too. We've all seen the networkers that are there's a phrase that Clay says, pitch slapping. Yeah, that's a big problem with networking.
Yeah, I call it sales breath. Sales.
I like that.
Yeah, same thing. They just have sales breath. It's like you just know, you can just tell by the question they're asking. So do you use specialty items in your business? Oh, I wonder what you do. Oh, you sell and I'm not picking on specialty people, but you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Who's your financial advisor? Well, why would you ask me that? It's the second question after how are you? You know what I mean? The first question after how are you? Who's your, we know where this is going. So.
Well, tell the story about LinkedIn when we had our conversation. about that person that reached out to you, a cold reach about franchises. This is a good example of how not to network.
Oh, well, I have so many of these stories, but essentially somebody reached out wanting to sell me a franchise. If that's the story we're talking about, is that the one?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they were just, hey, they're taught glowing terms. You have such an impressive profile. I'm so impressed by you, blah, blah, blah. You would make a perfect franchisor. Well, if they took the time to read 2 lines into my profile, they would realize that I am a franchise, or I'm already franchising. I don't need to buy a franchise. That would be silly. Or a better one, Steve, is, and you get this probably, oh, you're such an impressive individual. How would you like it if I could get you, you should have your own podcast, right? I think you should have your own well, look at my profile. It's listed right on there. Learning
lessons, man. They really are. I mean, it's so obvious, but people don't go that way. And that's what I want the listeners to understand those are 2 great stories. Yeah, I've had somebody reach out to, hey, well, I have my own oh, you do? You said you looked at my profile, and that's just not the way to do it. I wanted that to be people hear and see that, because it won't sell. You might get 1 out of 1,000, but I want 1 out of the 5, not 1 out of 1,000.
I guess my question for your listeners is, what are you selling, right? I mean, if you're selling pencils and you need to sell them by the millions, I get it. Then the spray and pray thing works, right? But, most of the people listening to your podcast, I'm guessing, have higher ticket items, maybe not really high ticket items, but higher ticket items. And do effectively, how many calls can you really have in a day?
Yeah.
Where you're really kind of going deep with somebody, so why are you reaching out to 1,000 people on LinkedIn to try and find there's a better way. Because you're just soiling yourself with prospective people out there.
Yeah.
If somebody gets me on a call, Steve, and they say, right away they're going for the sale. The answer is yes or no. It's probably going to be no, because you don't know anything about me, and that's off-putting to me. It's probably going to be, it's yes or no, and then we're done, right? That's it. But if you come into a call with me and it's like, I just really want to kind of learn about you. I want to tell you about me. I want to learn about you. How can we help each other? I'm willing to engage in that conversation. And it still might be a no as far as me being your client, but you're going to get more out of me, because I'm going to say, you know what, it's not for me. Whatever you're selling might not be for me, but I know somebody who it is, or I know a podcast you can be on. But people, they just, and somebody's teaching them this stuff, and I don't know.
Yeah. And it's interesting because sales, and I've done sales training. I'm sure you've done sales. What's the first thing that's 1 + 1 is 2 is, what is their pain point? What is their problem? You can't go, hey, here's a podcast, Frank, come on, sign up. I'll coach you podcast. I don't even know what your problem is. You could be making $10 million a month. You're like, I don't need a podcast.
Yeah.
What's my problem?
Yeah.
And that's what, I'll say, it irks me when I hear that, because that's not how to sell. So,
yeah. Well, either they're finding success doing that, or they're just frustrated and washed out of a system somewhere. And then proclaim that networking doesn't work. LinkedIn's a joke. Networking doesn't work, right? Whereas 95% of everything you and I do is a product of being on LinkedIn and connections, and so it's all how you approach it.
Yeah, and I want to jump into this. We got some time. Podcasting and networking. I found it to be a game changer for me. Tell me what your thoughts are on that.
I just had this conversation. I had the conversation with Eileen Murphy and Debbie Thilinich, who you connected me to. Thank you. And they're like, yeah, I told them I had a podcast. You were on it. I was going to be on yours. We're thinking about it. I said, you know what? Doing a podcast will open doors you didn't know existed. It'll create a reason for you to meet people. You will learn things. Can I point to the 25 clients that I've gotten out of podcasting? I can. But when I start going beyond that to the people that I've met, it's immense, what's coming from it. And in terms of learning too, and having content, which you can continue to repurpose and just kind of create a brand for yourself. So, yeah.
The brand thing is big because that's longevity. And podcasting, I tell people all the time, our show is going to sit on YouTube forever. And a year later, someone might look at it and go, AmSpirit, get on a phone, email, whatever they do, and reach out to you and say, hey, Frank, I saw you on Steve's show. I want to learn more. It has a one time, maybe it happens 100. We don't know. But it's been crazy, my network. I'm dealing with people. I just had a guy on last week. He makes $150 million a year in construction management. I never thought in my life I'd talk to somebody like that, be in those levels. And he's introducing me to people to be on my show at that level. I didn't know that's the same thing happened to you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Google yourself. If you're not podcasting, Google yourself. You're not going to come up with much. You'll come up with your LinkedIn profile. You'll come up with the guy 2 states away that's being incarcerated for, whatever, not doing you any favors. But I'm willing to bet if somebody Googles your name, Steve, they see all, they're not going to just see, hey, podcaster. It's going to be like every episode, depending upon how it's hitting and being shared, it's going to be pages of it. That's pretty powerful stuff.
You just taught me something today, Frank. I didn't even think about that. You're right. I'll do that when we get off the show. Yeah, that's interesting because your name's tied to all those shows, YouTube, Apple Podcast, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You hear that, listeners? Another value add to be in a podcast. Too many people, these are the 2 things I hear is it takes too long, we'll get a team, or do it like me, I do it raw. The second thing is, I'm not making direct money. Well, you just said I had 25 clients, but they either came on my show or an introduction, and it didn't happen tomorrow. It's not like tomorrow you're going to get 100 calls and I'm going to sell you 20 franchisees from this podcast. But it's somebody hears this and then wants, my cousin's been thinking, I just referred you to my cousin. He's going to talk to him on Thursday. And that's what I think networking is lost sight of is people, you said it earlier, they want to sprint. Like, I need to make $1 million in 3 months. So I'm going to sell 100 million people. It doesn't work. And if it does, it's short term.
Yeah. Somebody asked me the other day, what do you get from networking? And my answer is I get to give. I get to help other people. Amen. I get to give other people a voice. So you can Google my name and see a whole lot of stuff I've done, but those other people have, all of a sudden they've got stuff that they can point to. Now they haven't done, dozens or hundreds of episodes like you or I have. But the fact that all of a sudden there's something out there and it's content, it's validation for them, that's pretty huge. It really is.
Let's do a shout out because I'm sure somebody's listening going, okay, he's a franchisor. He knows what he's talking about. He's got the podcasting thing tied to him. How can they find you so they can reach out and ask you some questions?
Yeah, that's a great question. Before we go any further, I do want to mention Josh Tapp, who we both know, who's kind of your mentor. Mm-hmm. He's a good person to mention. So if you're obviously if you're interested in podcasting, talk to Steve. He can help you, but he's part of the whole pantheon, and he can shepherd you through the process. But Josh is really kind of he's the quarterback of it all. But thank you for asking. Great way to get a hold of me. LinkedIn, Frank Agin, FrankAgin. I do have a website out there, which is frankagin, all one word, .com, and it has links to pretty much everything. I have a content platform out there where I'm sharing a lot of my content on. I mean, I share it on social media, but I'm kind of trying to put it all in one place so people can access good content. But my email's there. I'm not sure if I have my cell phone. If I do, I'm going to take it down because I don't know if that's smart. But
no, we won't do that. No.
Yeah. But it's a great way to get a hold of me. Just kind of go there. You can see what I'm about. You can see the books I've written, the charities I'm involved with, things like that. But thank you. That's how frankagin.com.
And I'll put in the show notes too. And you just heard what he's just said. He kind of went over it, glossed over it. Is he helps charitable function, opportunity or individual businesses, nonprofits. I want you to hear that, because I think every business that's successful, I'm not saying if you're struggling, you do that. But if you're successful, I do it myself. If you're successful, as much as you can help. I'm going to do something, because if I wasn't doing anything, I'd be working with Frank, because I think franchise and networking is such a great combo. I would be doing it. Got a lot going on. I'm going to help expose it. But if you're looking to start a business, and like he said, it's part-time, you're working 8 to 5 and you need an extra, whatever, a month or a lot a month, and maybe quit your full-time, he's made it very affordable. So I'm going to do this for my listeners, Frank. The first 5 people that reach out to you and mention the podcast or my name, probably do both at the same time, I will send them a free gift.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to send them a $25 Amazon gift card for the first 5 people that reach out. And I'll do this even, Frank, I'm going to get crazy. You okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
If you buy a franchise, I'm going to give you I'll give you $100. The first 5 people that reach out, it's $25. The first 5 people that buy a franchise, I'm going to send you a $100 Amazon gift card. I've never done that before. Came to my head. Yeah, it's money, but you know what? It's God's money anyways. He stewards it. But I want to help, because I know you're helping many people. How long have you been doing networking? It's been a while.
Well, in one form or another, since 95, I've been involved in this organization.
28 years.
I have more stories than the Sears Tower. I mean, I've got a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got experience. That's my point. Thank you, Frank. And because people always come to me, well, how long has he been doing it? Well, Frank's been doing 28 years. Oh, okay. It's just people work that way.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add to networking that people need to know?
I mean, there's so much. I mean, it's people network at all sorts of different levels, and it's, just let me put it this way. You do nothing alone. You need the people around you. I kind of grew up with the mindset of I'll just do well in school and get degrees, and the world everything will take care of itself. The world will take care of me. And I realized, not too late, but it took me a few years to realize that it's really not about what you know. It's really not even about who you know. It's what you do with those relationships that really matters.
That's awesome, because that's what networking should be all about. And we're focused on that. Well, we're running out of time. I want to thank you for being on the show. I'm going to have you back. There's about 75% we haven't covered. And I want to delve in this networking more, because people need to hear it, because COVID comes out, right, Frank? Oh, we're all going to network. Well, it was a cluster, you know what? Because people didn't know what they're doing. Yeah. We knew, we've done it, so it wasn't, second nature to us, but we need to mentor more people to do it right, because one bad apple in a networking meeting could blow up the whole thing. And it's happened to me. I've literally had to shut a meeting down because it was that type of thing. It's not networking. So I'll leave you with this. And you mentioned Josh. Josh says this: let's not talk business. Let's do business when we're networking. I love that phrase. And Josh. So if I can ask one more favor, can you leave my audience a great tip you've learned through your life in business, these 28 years networking, that can help them in their journey?
Yeah, I wanted to interject earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt. You had said, when you're doing well, you should, give back to charity. The question I always get, what's the one thing I can do right now to get myself jump-started in networking? And my response is consistently, find something you're passionate about and get out and volunteer. Because when you get out there and you volunteer, you are rubbing elbows. You're coming out of your little corner of the world, wherever that is, to rub elbows with other people coming out of their little corner of the world to do the same thing. And they're passionate about that same, they're going to learn about you. They're going to know about you. And other people are going to see that you're involved. And even if they don't care about what you're passionate about, they're going to hold you in higher esteem because of your commitment to someone else. So that's my parting shot.